Hello, and welcome to Lord of Facts. Recently I discussed the current war between Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla in regards to alternating and direct current. In that video, I mentioned how Tesla's inventive portfolio goes way beyond just AC current. You see, Tesla laid the foundation for many of today's technologies, such as smartphones and the internet. Let's take a look at some of these today, in addition to peeling back the layers behind who Nikola Tesla was and exploring his eccentricities. Nikola Tesla was born in 1856 in the small village of Smiljan in what is now modern-day Croatia, but back then was Austro-Hungary. He was said to have been born during a lightning storm, with one of the nurses believing him to be a child of darkness, and his mum naturally believing him to be a child of light. The to-be genius's father was an Orthodox priest who wanted his father to follow in his footsteps. So his aptitude for science and invention likely came from his mother, who in her spare time would invent devices to make life easier. You can visit Tesla's childhood home in Smiljan, Croatia. Here you can see a statue of Nikola Tesla outside the front, along with his father's church. The house and church were both destroyed during the civil war in Yugoslavia in the 90s, and were later renovated and opened as a memorial centre in 2006. Inside the museum, there's a map of Manhattan displaying the locations throughout the island where alternating current is used, compared to those where direct current was used, showing just how much more widely used Tesla's AC actually is. From an early age, it was fairly clear that Tesla possessed a superhuman imagination and intellect. He had what's known as an eidetic memory, meaning he could accurately visualise detailed three-dimensional objects and recall entire books to memory. He also had the ability to store logarithmic tables and do integral calculus all inside his head. Because of impressive feats such as this, many of his teachers became suspicious, believing he surely must have been cheating. Not only was Nikola Tesla tremendously bright and imaginative, he was also an extremely hard worker, working so much that he barely slept. In fact, he worked so hard that his teachers became worried and wrote to his parents saying that he may die from being overworked. After falling ill one time, Nikola became really afraid of being sick and started becoming an incredibly clean and tidy person, washing extremely often in addition to wearing white gloves while eating. Another part of Tesla's COVID-esque fear of germs was to thoroughly clean all the objects in his dining room before and after using them. One of Tesla's biggest ideas was that of wireless power. In 1891, Tesla invented the Tesla coil and carried out demonstrations to show that the coil could be used to charge a light bulb wirelessly. Later, and staying in Colorado Springs around the turn of the 20th century, he built a larger version of the Tesla coil called the magnifying transmitter, which was 51 feet in diameter, capable of producing up to 12 million volts. He used this to light 3 light bulbs from 30 meters away. In 1901, Tesla received funding from J.P. Morgan to create Wardenclyffe Laboratory in Long Island, which created a 185-foot high metal structure topped with a 65-foot copper dome and transmitter. In essence, a scaled-up version of the Tesla coil. Tesla wanted to use this tower to broadcast signals and wireless electricity across Earth's surface. The lab was built and remained running for a while until he lost the financial support of Morgan, which happened because Morgan felt he couldn't profit from Tesla's vision, and so the lab was shut down. Tesla's vision of creating a wireless power network across the globe likely couldn't have worked anyway, as his theories depended on the assumption air is a good conductor of electricity. It has since been shown that air is actually a very good insulator of electricity. A Tesla coil just isn't a practical method for creating wireless power. A Tesla coil power enough to light up a room of lights could also give you a particularly horrible electric shock. Not to mention the fact that the strength of the field usually weakens as you move further away. Although his original vision probably wouldn't have worked, the technology that came from such inventions as the Tesla coil helped pave the way for many of the technologies we take for granted today. progress in this area has also been made since Tesla's day due to the discovery of better materials. One example of such progress is the wireless phone charger. Researchers have also attempted to design pads that electric cars could drive over in order to be recharged. Advancements in technology have allowed scientists to carry out what Tesla calls cannot, such as powering small devices at room-scale distances using magnetic fields. Although to carry this out, the entire room would need to have a metal skeleton. And for even larger distances, a medium other than electromagnetic fields would be needed, such as beaming energy using ultrasound, microwaves, or lasers, which results in energy being wasted in its translation from one carrier to the next. Tesla invented an early prototype of the remote control. In 1898, he announced the invention of a teleautomatic bow guided by remote control. Here in the 21st century, such an idea seems normal, with many of us having operated remote-controlled toy boats. However, in the late 19th century, such a notion would have seemed incredibly sci-fi, and thus was naturally met with a high degree of skepticism. In order to counter these doubts, Tesla demonstrated his invention before a crowd in Madison Square Gardens in New York. Like many great geniuses, Nick was somewhat eccentric. He was particularly fond of the number 3, and all numbers that divided into 3. He must have been a nightmare for hotel staff, as whenever he would book a hotel, he would always insist on being put in room 207, and would demand that there be 18 towels present.
Hello, Hotel Brian here. What can I do for you? Is room 207 available? Wait, say that again? Is room 207 available? Does it have to be that room in particular? Yes, it does. 207 divides into 3. I like 3, and all the numbers that divide into it. Well, I don't know if we have that specific room. Let me have a look. Room 207 is currently occupied, I'm afraid. Would room 205? No, it must be room 207. If someone is currently staying at that room, kindly ask them to switch rooms. I'll see what I can do. Okay, I've managed to book you into room 207. Are you happy now? I will be, when I'm assured that this room has 18 towels. 18 is also a multiple of 3, so there's a nice poetry to it. Wouldn't you agree? Sure, yeah, we can get you 18 towels in your room. Let me just get some of my staff on it.
He was also insistent there be 18 napkins on any dinner table, and always had to calculate the cubic area of every bite of food before eating it. He also had a strong aversion to human hair, and could not stand the sight of a woman who wore pearls, refusing to speak to them. Another strange habit of his was to circle a building 3 times before entering it. Tesla's well known for having a fondness for pigeons, and he once wrote about one particular pigeon that he loved this pigeon the same way a man loves a woman, and spent $2,000 building a device to heal the broken bones of an unwell pigeon. It's not known exactly how smart Nikola Tesla was, but it's believed his IQ was in the 160 to 300 range, with many believing him to be way smarter than Albert Einstein. In fact, when Albert Einstein was asked how it felt to be the world's smartest man, he said, "I don't know. You'll have to ask Nikola Tesla." Tesla himself was acutely aware of just how smart he was, truly believing his intellect to be superior. He once wrote about his rival Thomas Edison. If Edison had a needle to find in a haystack, he would proceed at once with the diligence of a bee to examine straw after straw until he found the object of his search. I was a sorry witness of such doing, that a little Therian calculation would have saved him 99% of his labour. Tesla died in 1943 at the age of 86, with almost no money to his name. It's a real sadness that a man of such great genius, whose discoveries and inventions have made such an impact on the modern world, would end up like this. This was partly due to his lack of business smarts, but not entirely, as Tesla did actually become rich for a brief time, having enough money to fund his own research, hire staff, and open workshops. However, George Westinghouse lost a large amount of money in his efforts to win against Edison, and so Tesla tore up the royalty contracts owed to him from licensing his patents and threw away the millions owed to him in royalties. In Europe, especially Eastern Europe, from where Tesla originates, he is taught in schools at great depth. However, in American public schools, he isn't really talked about, with Edison being celebrated as the big hero instead. In recent years, however, Tesla has gained popularity, partly due to the Tesla car company, and also because of new evidence shedding light on what Edison was really like. The full impact of Tesla's discoveries and theories likely still hasn't been realised, and if he were alive today, he'd be looking ahead to mankind's scientific and technological future. Thanks for watching.